Hi everybody, my name is Lilo Grunwald and thank you for joining in to another Live with Lilo. So it wouldn't be a Live with Lilo without having computer technical difficulties. Please let me know that you can actually hear me and see me. I am trying to get onto another computer. Right now my Mac computer is updating. Hey Lauren, how are you? Thank you for hopping on. Can you hear me and see me? And John is watching. All right, give me 2 minutes, everybody. I'm gonna have to close my door because my husband is also watching in the other room and it's creating a bounce back. 2 seconds. And that's how we do. Hey everybody, thank you for hopping on. Oh, George Bella, hello. Hi everybody. So we just have to wait for my special guest Mike Bauer to hop on. Mike, let me just comment below, let me know when you're on because I can't see these tiny little pictures. All right, hey Zev, how are you? How's Callie? Thanks Lauren, thank you for letting me know. And we're just waiting for Mr. Mike Bauer. Thank you for hopping on. I hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. It's still gorgeous out here. Let's see who else is on. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Hey, Brian. Do I still look like a Fifi? That's how you'll always remember me, huh? Fifi? Hysterical. So, you know, this is bizarre, right? Because it's kind of like I'm just talking to myself, unless you actually answer me. Hey, everybody. So we're just waiting for Mike to hop on. I know that he will be here. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for hopping on. Well, thanks, John. Hey, Matt. My new friend, Matt McRae from high school. Actually, most of you watching are from high school. How cool is that? So, Mike, we're just waiting for you. I think that you just hopped on. So, okay, so let me invite you on. Give me a moment. No, we don't need to watch. Invite you to watch. Guest request. Allow your viewers to request to join you as a guest in your broadcast. I think I already have. It's not allowing me to add you, Mike. So, hopefully you can hop on. Let's see. Are you able to hop on, Mike? Is there an invite from me? Let's see. You know this is always a challenge, everybody, right? Mike Bauer wants to be in your video. I will approve that. So
yeah.
I just want to know.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm so
Hey.
sorry. My daughter was making some changes. We were trying to practice some things. I was going to do this on my computer rather than my phone, and I was logged into her account when you called, and I had to go upstairs and say, hey, help! So I'm a little technically challenged in this way. So.
Listen, we all are, but you're here, and that's all that matters.
I was like frantic. I'm like, this can't move. We're just waiting. So, hey, Lila, how you doing?
Well, I'm good. How are you? You look great.
Doing well.
Did you get a haircut?
Yesterday, yeah, I did.
So did I.
All right, yeah. Awesome, looking good.
Very cool. So we actually have some high school friends that are already on and watching us.
Great. Oh man, he's an awesome Facebooker.
Yeah. No, this is so cool.
I got to hang with him at Artie Brand's wedding a few years ago, and yeah, Matt's awesome. So yeah.
Which one? Oh, Matt McRae? That guy?
Oh, Matt McRae. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think of Matt McRae when I think of Facebook. He's a good face, like kind of like you. You know, just real friendly. Kind of seems like, you know, bringing people together, and you know, he's sent me some Van Halen DVDs a few years ago. He's, you know, one of the first people to actually reach out and send something in the mail. You know, it was cool.
Yeah, people still do that. Yeah. Like you sent me your CD. I'm like, oh, look, I got mail. So exciting. Yeah. It's not an email and it's not a text. It's like actually something that you can hold.
Yeah.
I'm a little old-fashioned like that also. I like that. I actually like picking up the phone. I think we talked about this. I like picking up the phone and talking to people.
A lot of people don't do that these days. I know we're always texting. Sometimes I feel like it's an imposition to call somebody, you know, and
I know,
You know,
I know.
we're all
Oh, I didn't
busy. I mean,
have time. Is this a good time?
right, right. I always start with that. Yeah.
All right. Well, for those hopping on, I am speaking with my old friend, Mike Bauer. Um, I remember Mike as far back as junior high. Do you remember me in junior high?
I remember you in high school. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm like, I remember
Yeah.
you well in high school. I'm not sure about junior high.
Yeah. Well,
My first
we're gonna.
memories are you and Colette, your cousin, right? With
Yes.
Avita. I was like so impressed by that. I just remember that. I was like, wow, you know.
Yeah, well, we were very young when we did that. We went to the theater guild that was here in Long Beach, and it
Mhm.
was the woman that ran it was a manager, and I just remember getting a phone call. My very first phone call from her was to audition for Annie, actually. So that was my very first audition,
Wow.
and I think my third audition was for Evita, and we literally sang "Happy Birthday" for that audition.
And then
That was it.
and
That was
the
it.
gig.
Well, she got the gig first,
Okay.
and a few months later they called me because the girl that I was replacing, that I fit,
Hmm.
was leaving.
Okay.
So yeah, but we were very young. We were 10 and 11 years old, and yeah, sang "Happy Birthday" for Harold Prince. That was pretty amazing. But that was in I was in, oh God, I can't even remember. Brian Carroll, you remember, don't you? Um, Sixth grade. Yeah, sixth grade, because seventh grade I failed Spanish. So yeah.
Who was your
But
teacher?
that was junior high. Basic. Oh no, that was Lindell Junior High.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
here to talk about you, not me.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Well, I was thinking, you made me think, because like I was at something at Lindell School when I was a kid, and a manager, agent from New York City, like pulled me over and was like, "We want you to audition for stuff." And I was like, "Really?" Like, to ask my mom, "Are there any others like you?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's got a sister, you know." So I went for a couple of auditions for commercials, and I never got anything. And Edie went on her first one and totally nailed it. And she did, it was called Walking Baby Loves You, and she was on TV for a while there in the '70s. All the time, it was this little baby just hold its hands and it walked by itself. But yeah, Edie nailed the first audition, got the gig. I never got anything.
I didn't know that. Well, she was
Yeah,
just as cute as you, so you
yeah.
have the same face. And by the way, you look great. You haven't aged. I mean, come on,
Oh,
guys. Has he aged since like high school?
oh,
No, not
man.
at all.
But you know, it's
You,
funny. Like people when I was younger used to say, you look like Paul McCartney, and I'd be like, oh man. But then as I got older, it was like, you look like Steve from Blue's Clues. And then like it became like some wise kid was like, you look like who did he say? Who was it? Darn it. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. But it was really, oh, it's Mr. Bean. The kid said, he goes,
what?
"You look like Mr. Bean," and I was like, oh. So anyway, I'll take what you're saying. Thank you. It was for 10 years starting to get really bad. So, kids were like, anyway.
Well, you do. You look great, and yeah, I do recall you from junior high, more high school, but we did for a year or two there. Go get on the bus at the same bus stop. What was that, Monroe
Yeah,
or
yeah,
some?
totally.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, that are not from Long Beach, we grew up in a very, very unique town here, Long Beach, New York. And we live by the beach, and we have a lot of talent that came out of this town. And this is why I wanted to start this
Yeah.
Long Beach Spotlight series. And I went with what I know, and I started making a list of people that I felt were influential, that were doing great things. And it's the reason I chose who I've chosen so far, including Mr. Mike Bauer. Now, we're gonna get to you. Now, Mike lives in Nashville.
Man,
He
Tennessee.
is
Yep.
a Long Beach guy living in
How did that happen?
Nashville.
Yeah.
But so let's go back, because
Okay.
I definitely want to talk about your first band. But before that, I want to ask you,
Right.
since you're a guitar man, Was this the very first instrument that you ever played, or did you have a different instrument that you played first? What was the first instrument?
Yeah, it is. It's the first instrument. You know, I started. I used to steal my. I think you might have seen this on the record I sent you, but I used to steal Edie's tights and get dressed up like Paul Stanley and dance on my mom's '72 Pontiac Le Mans and sing "I Want You." You know, my mom was like, "Would you please stop doing that? I'll get you real guitar lessons if you just cut that out." And so that's how it started.
Wait, did you actually wear the tights?
Oh yeah, yeah. There are pictures.
You wore the tights. You
there are
pretended
pictures.
You were a member of Kiss.
Yeah, oh, I was like, man, yeah. I went to a Kiss concert in 4th grade. My dad was really, really cool to do that for me.
Wow. Yeah, that's unheard of now.
Yeah.
There's no way that a kid go to a concert in 4th grade. Not like that.
Yeah.
Not a Kiss concert.
Oh man. So yeah, it was my first. Yeah. It was my first instrument.
Were they? Okay, so Kiss was a big influence on you then. I know that it was. Kiss is a very influential band for a lot of kids wanting to get into music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. They just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, actually, and it was a very moving speech that Tom Morello gave. Man, if you haven't seen that, just the speech for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that he gave, so inspirational. I'm watching it going, why do I want to cry right now? It was just like, it was just beautiful. So
why guitar? Because of Kiss, or you just knew that you wanted to play this instrument?
Yeah.
You knew you wanted to romance the girls, and you knew that the guitar was the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that till a few years later, you know. At first it was just, you know, rock and roll, and, you know, it was Kiss, it was Led Zeppelin, it was Ted Nugent, it was Black Sabbath, it was all these bands. It just, the rock sound, the rock attitude just, you know, just spoke to me. And I got a great guitar teacher, Mike Barnett, who owned Michael's Music. Mike just passed a year or so ago. Great guy. Gave me my first job teaching too. So I took with him, and then Intruder, and I really self-learned for a lot of high school.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Intruder. So Intruder, was that your first band?
First, like I guess like real band. There were some bands, but that would be the first band that, you know, like probably the only band in high school that everybody really knew. Then there was a band, The New Escape, after that. But yeah, Intruder got, you know, all the press, so to speak.
So Intruder, how old were you guys when you started Intruder? Because I that's what I remember going back to junior high, is Intruder.
Yeah. I mean, Portnoy and I met in you know, in Mr. Hornung's, you know, band, jazz band, and we started Intruder in the end of middle school. I think we were I was part of the first class of 8th graders to go up to 9th grade high school. And yeah, it was right at that time, 1982. And yeah, it was great. I mean, we played some big shows for our age, you know, the St. Mary's shows and the Temple show, the Battle of the Bands. We played a big show in Island Park, opening for another band. And you know, for our age, those were big shows. And it, you know, I think it took some initiative on our parts to go and, you know, ask the churches and put the shows together, get the lighting in place and the PA. And, you know, it was like a lot of initiative for kids our age. And, you know, make the posters.
And it was an incredible experience for us, all your friends in high school, to go see your shows. So the band consisted of 4 guys. So this is always funny to me because it's the 3 Mikes and then Eric. So we've got you, Mike Bauer. We had Mike Portnoy, we had Michael Thomas, and we had Eric Barbasso.
Yeah.
And you know, Mike Portnoy on drums, and the rest of you played, what did Eric play, bass?
He played bass, yeah.
Remind me. Yeah.
He played bass,
yeah.
And Thomas on keyboards. And there were a couple of different incarnations of the group. You know, there was an incarnation with a singer named Anthony Hayes, who sang one of the shows. And then the later incarnation had Angus Whitaker.
Oh, that's right.
Angus was with us too. So Eric was with us, and then Angus was with us in his place. You know, I kind of went back and forth, and I played with Eric again in the new Escape. So we were just kind of, you know, revolving door, but we were all friends, and you know, it was all good fun.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was looking at because you had some old pictures on your Facebook of that that group, and it's just it's incredible to see because it's like it feels like yesterday, but it's so long ago.
No,
Um, so you continued your
I'm sorry.
musicality. So you continued after that, after Intruder and New Escape, and went to high school, finished high school. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I actually went to the closest college I could find to my house, which was Malloy College in Rockville Center. It's a small Catholic college, and I studied classical guitar for a couple of years. Started to really learn how to read music, and uh, our college played a recital at Carnegie Recital Hall, which was a thrill. And so I kind of started to go in some different areas musically. And then during that time, I also started taking guitar lessons with the best guitar player in Long Beach at the time, Dean Brown. And the only reason I say at the time is because he doesn't live there anymore. He's just amazing guitarist from Primo, and he's played with so many jazz fusion greats. So he kicked my butt, you know, when I was like 18 and 19. He got me ready to go to the University of Miami, where I studied jazz guitar and then got a music education degree.
Well, I mean, I think this is important. Sorry, I lost my light. I think this is
Yeah,
important
yeah.
to, as a musician, you have to learn all facets of the music, and I think that classical, it's almost like for me when I was taking gymnastics and they told me that I needed to take ballet, and when I got into ice skating, I needed to take ballet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the basis. So for
Yeah.
a musician, I believe that classical is probably your base, right?
Yes, I mean, it just helps with so much, you know, ear training, finger picking, you know what I mean? It just opens up my whole world, because some kids grow up listening to classical music in their homes, but my mom was like into show tunes and Broadway, which was great, but we didn't listen to classical. My dad had some classical records that I eventually borrowed from him, but yeah, so it's just, you're right, it's the exact same thing, you know, teachers know, you know, and I really needed to learn how to read music. Mr. Kennedy was constantly on me, and he was so right. You know, he was, you know, always just trying to get us all to formalize our talents. And, you know, it was annoying at the time, but in retrospect, man, did he care. And I so
A good
appreciate
teacher.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good teacher. He was
Yeah.
our band teacher back in high
Mm-hmm.
school, Mr. Ed Kennedy.
Yep.
Still see him around town.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
he's painting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Over the
good.
years, too.
They
Yeah.
yeah, they taught us some really good values, and they instilled that, and we remember that. And I really hope that there are teachers that these kids remember for forever and always,
Yeah.
because there are those teachers out there that we'll never forget.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, and I mean, as a teacher myself now, I know I'm kind of probably getting ahead, but um,
Okay.
I really appreciate, you know, the teachers I had. There are some now that I think about from Long Beach that really are standouts to me. Some that have even influenced my teaching. I mean, I don't know if you remember Mr. Ferguson, the science teacher. I just remember he was
Yeah.
so patient. He just had,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was one time there was a kid who got a 50 on a test, and he was like, "You got a 50?" He's like, "You're halfway to 100." It almost sounds disingenuous, but it's like, I was like, I don't know, he was so, and I just, that kind of patience as a teacher, you know, there are a lot of teachers that aren't that patient, and I love that. So I try to kind of channel him sometimes, you know. There's the teachers, or Mr. Northrup, you know, I know passed also, just, I never laughed so much in a class, you know, just loved his classes, you know.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I think this, you give me chills.
you know,
I love when we can think back to our
you
teachers
know,
from so long ago,
yeah,
and they had such impact. You know, really, teachers have the toughest job I know. We know so many teachers, and they get their asses kicked. They really
yeah.
do.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, my dad was a teacher there, and my dad would be the first to tell you that he probably shouldn't have been a teacher. You know, he should have been an engineer or something. You know, he's got a great mechanical mind, but he loved the language French. But you know, other teachers like, you know, Mr. Kaplan. You know, I mean, phenomenal teacher. Taught us all so well about music theory. Oh my goodness, we got like a college education start on music theory. You know, Portnoy and
Yes.
I'm sure they would all echo the same thing. you know, great class. So a lot of wonderful teachers. So now that I'm teaching too, you know, it doesn't take a teacher to recognize that, but being that I'm in that world, I'm like, man, there are some real standouts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's jump ahead. So you've done your own touring. I mean, what did you hope to do with your, you know, musical talent? What did you aspire to be, and then did it
Yeah.
veer off in a direction?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, as a kid being, you know, kind of, you know, adept for my age at the guitar, you know, everybody's always, you know, you're gonna be a rock star, don't forget me when you're famous. And even my mom was kind of echoing some of those things, you know, and I don't know that it was really good for me, you know. You know, it's been a great journey, but it's not the journey that I thought it would be, you know. So, you know, I got to Miami, and you know, I studied classical, then I studied jazz. Then I found myself in a blues band, you know, and it was kind of a high-profile blues band in Miami. And we were the house band, so a group called Iko Iko. We were the house band at a club called Tobacco Road. And so every Friday, Saturday night, this was like in the early 90s for me, we would play, and then a traveling band would come, you know, from the upstairs, and you have big artists like Albert Collins, if you know blues, or Derek Trucks. It was like the greatest slide guitarist on the planet now. He's like 13. He would come through with his all-adult band. So I did that. One night, David Lee Roth came in. Came into the club, wanted to sit in with us. So, you know, David Lee Roth's there on stage with us, playing with us, and he shakes my hand. He's like, I'm Diamond Dave. And I'm like, I know who you are. I saw you with the Meadowlands in '84. I'm like, pinch me. You know, it was like amazing. So that was my first, you know, like foray into something that was, you know, a little bigger, you know. Bo Diddley, you know, asked us to be his band when he did a Miami show. So I started, you know, that was really cool. During that time, you know, my Christian faith started to become more important to me. I met the woman who would become my wife. And so we kind of, you know, things just kind of moved in new directions for me. You know, her and I started a jazz guitar voice duo. She's a great singer. And we would play bistros and private parties and cruises and, you know, all kinds of different things. And then we also started leading worship at our church. And then we started getting hired to lead worship at other churches. So, you know, all these different things were happening musically. And then I really wanted to move to Nashville. Most people know it as the home of country music, but it's also the home of Christian music. And some of our friends had already moved there, and I just wanted to be a part of that. So it took some faith, and in beginning of '98, we made the move over to Nashville. It's been 20 years now, and God really blessed it. Within a few months, I was working with artists. I'm sorry. Oh, is it dying? Are we can?
Yeah, it's freezing up. I don't know if it's freezing up a little bit. Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I talking too fast?
You're back, but you're delayed. It's delayed. No. It's just a little delayed.
Delayed? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I asked my whole family to leave the house and not be online. Hopefully we're okay. The Wi-Fi's okay. There shouldn't be anything competing.
No, I can still hear you. As long as people can still hear you. I think everybody's
let me see.
Still watching. I think my husband will tell me if I think we're okay. I'm just looking at comments. I think we're okay.
I saw Chris Evangelistas. Yeah. I like Sammy too, but I mean Dave is like, that's the classic Van Halen. I mean, no doubt. You know, not the same without David Lee Roth. So. Yeah.
I can't read the comments.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of stuff on David. It was cool to meet David Lee Roth. You know, that was before, you know, we had cell phone cameras. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I asked the band leader last year, did anybody get a picture of that? But it was before those days, so I don't have proof. But man, it's in my heart. It was too cool.
Yeah, it's in the memories, you know. That is very cool. So you got more in touch with your Christian faith. You started playing more more Christian music, more.
Yes.
So you
Yeah,
were playing.
I was still playing.
Okay, take me back because it was freezing up. Yeah.
Let's
Go
see.
ahead.
You okay? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh boy.
Yeah, now you're all sped up. I can hear you. It's just on a. You can't hear me? Is it frozen?
I can hear you. No?
Okay, keep going. No, it'll go.
Okay. So yeah, so I was still, still playing in the blues band, and it's like I was in church on Sunday. It was true. I was in the bar band till 4 a.m, and then I was at church on Sunday. So yeah, well, we wanted to move to Nashville, wanted to be a part of, what was going on here. Can you still hear me? No?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you sure? It's freezing up?
I can.
Let's,
yeah.
Okay. Zach Secor, hey man.
Yeah, I can't.
He says he can hear me okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, so we made the move here, and was just really blessed to start working pretty quickly. And before I knew it, I was playing across the country, playing in with Christian artists, and this was like stuff that wasn't even on my radar growing up. Playing cities like Bandung,
wow.
and the Philippines, and doing stuff places I barely heard of as a kid, niches of music that I knew nothing about. I was a Catholic kid from Long Beach, but were very popular in certain parts of the world. I mean, that was all just new to me. There I was, doing that, playing my electric guitar, and some of these artists were really, really big, like playing like arenas and things like that, So it was awesome, but it was just not where I thought I was going. Can you hear me?
Right.
Kind
and yeah, I can hear you, and that's what
yeah.
No, I can hear you. I think everybody can hear you. We're good. I want to touch on that after, and I want you to tell the kids out there that life is going to take you in a different direction sometimes. So, but that's amazing that you got to tour and you got to get in touch with, more of your faith and enjoy it in some other land. How amazing.
Yeah, incredible, and then then if that wasn't different enough, then I played with some Christian artists for a couple of years. A drummer friend says, hey, the country star Pam Tillis is looking for a new guitar player. Do you wanna audition? I can give you the band leader's number. And I'm like, I'm from Long Island, like I don't know anything about country music, and I said, all right, I'll do it. And I remember like calling the guy on the phone, and he said, send me a picture and a demo CD. And I mean, I did it. And I remember going to the post office and thinking, man, nothing's going to come of this. And I get a call, and he's like, hey man, we like the way you look. We like the way you sound. Why don't you come in for an audition? So I came in, and within a day or after that, I got the gig, And so now I'm out, you know what I mean? And
wow.
Like I grew up playing heavy metal, you know what I mean? And it's like, so now I'm playing country. And in fact, when Pam asked me on the audition where I was from, I just came out. I said Miami, because that's where I was the last 10 years. But I couldn't even say New York because it was like country. I just felt like it was just a reflex, you know what I mean? I didn't, it wasn't until like a couple of years later I'm like, I'm actually from Long Island, So, so there I was, playing country music, doing the twang thing, and, playing with some really serious country, musicians, and having to, make sure I could carry my weight.
There are so many Long Islanders that are into country music these days. I actually did not ever listen to country music myself until I was about 26. And I was hired for my talent. I was hired to work at a dude ranch. So this was in Michigan. So all we had to listen to was country music. and went to rodeos every Friday night. And we did two-stepping and line dancing on Saturday night. So,
Yeah.
But country music evolved so much from that twangy country that we're so familiar with to this like country rock. There's like country, isn't there like country gospel? I mean, it's all kind of like bleeding together now.
Yeah.
Again,
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
A great basis for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
yeah,
right. So you traveled, you toured, you. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
I was going to say the thing about country music too that I love is just like lyrically, it goes where people live, songs about family, songs about kids, there's songs about drinking, there's songs about everything, but there's songs about faith sometimes. It's a great genre because and it's conversational. So, you might listen to a Sarah McLachlan song and go, that was awesome. I have no idea what that was about. But you hear a country song and you're like, oh, got it. And so it's nice. I dig that about country music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so you came back to. No, we're good. We're good. It's sometimes on a delay.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
So you. Yeah. It jumps back. So you came back and you're now in Nashville. Okay, you're a family guy. Yeah. You've got 2 kids, wife that you still sing with her because she's got the musical talents also.
Yeah, we'll lead in church and things like that together. In about a half hour, actually, she's gonna lead, and I'm gonna go play for her. And right after this, actually, she just asked me today when I got home. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff in church. We used to write a lot together, and we still. Once we're empty nesters, we're gonna get back to doing stuff together, but it's just a different season right now.
Yeah, awesome. So one of the reasons that I put you on my list is because you do this really cool thing. Now that you're teaching, you are the founder of this Guitar Academy. I want you to talk about that, and I also want you to talk about why you teach in the manner that you teach and why you are doing these amazing Instagram lessons, these amazing Instagram guitar lessons. So for anybody that's not following Mike at Mike Bauer Guitar on Instagram, please go follow him. It's a really cool thing that he does. So Guitar Academy, you are the founder, you are one of the teachers. Tell us about that.
Sure. Is it too light? Can I? Is it like? It looks like it's getting like the sun's coming in. Let me hang on a sec. Let me do this real quick. Is this better? This might be better. That looks a little better, maybe to me. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
Well, I started a Guitar Academy 10 years ago, and I love the idea of teaching in small groups. So I get to play the part of the guitar coach. So I'm on my feet the whole time, and it's a small group of like 5 or 6. And I've found that it's just so much fun for people to learn that way, for kids to learn that way, because it's not just my energy. It's like the energy of all the other kids in the class. It's the room, the dynamic of the room. And built into it is like just some accountability, like some healthy peer pressure. Because like if little Johnny doesn't practice in a private lesson when he's just starting, the teacher's like, well, now Johnny, but he doesn't practice. The kid next to him did, and he's going to feel it. So it's like it moves you along. So basically I'm in there and I'm like the guitar coach, and we're playing like everything from AC/DC to jazz to Christian music sometimes to whatever. I'm all about just let's just play anything and everything. So I have found that it is the most fun and effective way to learn guitar. Kids it's like a guitar event, like every week. They come, it's an hour long. It's a little longer than the normal half-hour private lesson. We take a break, a little snack break in the middle, and watch a guitar video. And I plan the classes, so it's very, I don't walk in and wing it. It's like, it's serious business. And kids say they feel known, and we have fun. And it's, I have some really advanced students that I hire on as assistants. So I'll float them in some classes, and well, just loving on people and just really wanting to see them get good fast and love the instrument as quickly as possible. And man, I just love the relationship aspect of it. Like when I was touring, I mean, it's amazing to play in front of people and travel and all those things. But the one thing that I didn't love about that was you go and you play for a bunch of people. Then the next day you'd play for a new bunch of people. And it was great because you'd meet folks. But you have these relationships with these kids. And it's like, I get to see the progress, you know, week after week, month after month, year after year. And it's so gratifying. So that's been like the in-town side of it. So I've become kind of a podcast nerd, and I listen to a lot of like business podcasts and things like that. And through that, got the idea of it'd probably be a good idea, since this has been pretty successful here in our town, to try to get this to a bigger audience. So it's been a long-term goal of mine. I'm going slowly, but just starting to teach a little bit on Instagram. I'm also on Mike Bauer Music. Yeah, Mike Bauer Music on Facebook, Nashville Guitar Academy on Facebook and Instagram. So, and I'm making videos. I'm just kind of getting my feet wet right now. I'm doing a lot of beginner stuff. And I spent the summer writing a lot of just working on some different new things. So I have been a little slower on Facebook and Instagram this summer, but I'm going to get back to it. I'm talking a lot, but yeah, that's.
No, that's okay. So, so these Instagram lessons for those of you that don't really know what we're talking about, Mike does these lessons, and he does them in that room right there that he's sitting in, and he basically teaches a chord, right? You basically teach a simple chord to whoever's going to watch, and you teach it with your great smile and your very easy breezy attitude. And I love that, because we are in this age of this technology, this social media, that we can share our gifts, and I love that you're sharing your gift. I love that. It's amazing.
It's fun, and
by the way,
it's like kind of it's kind of like what you're doing here. I'm sorry. It's like what you're doing here. It's like this interview project that you're doing. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Like this interview. No, it keeps freezing. It's okay. It'll keep going.
Just like, I mean, I don't know if it scared you at all, or if it's just simply a discipline for you to follow through with it. But those are the kinds of things that, the Instagram is for me, or even today. I mean, ask my wife, this is way out of my comfort zone for me, but I know that the payoff is great by just putting yourself out there. I've learned that. So you just learn I heard Will Smith say recently that, if you've seen his video about when he went skydiving, that some of God's greatest gifts are on the other side of fear. And I've been just chewing on that. And it's so true. So, I mean, just kind of, we're not getting any younger, let's make it count.
Exactly. Listen, these lives, or getting on stage, or having to audition, never gets easy. We get more used to it, and we get more confident, but I still get nervous. Every single time. I mean, do you get a little nervous when you have to get on stage? I think some nerves are good, because we use those nerves. They're actually good nerves. It's exciting nerves.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I get more nervous, and a lot of people say this, and it's true. I get more nervous with really small, intimate guests versus big, you know what I mean? 25,000 people just is almost like too impersonal to be scary, but like 5 people is like, you're just looking in everybody's eyes, it's like, that's different. It's funny how that is.
I agree. I agree. Listen, my mother always used to ask me to perform when I was younger in front of the family. And I was like, no. And she'd say, but you get on stage in front of thousands of people. I'm like, yeah, that's because it's dark out there. I can't see faces.
Yes.
So it's much easier to get on stage than it is in an intimate setting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I just listened to this today. This is fantastic, everybody. You can find this on Spotify and YouTube. And this is a mix. I think you're reading it backwards. It's My Own World. And this is Mike's original music. And it kind of has a little bit of everything. It's all musical, everybody. There's no vocal on here. It's all musical. And it kind of runs the gamut, Mike. I mean, there's like a little bit of everything in here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to make musical statements after, you know, going to school and playing, professionally for whatever 20 something years, and just get back to being a kid again, kind of like Intruder back when, we just didn't think too much. And, now kind of that's why I called it My Own World. It's like every time somebody does a record, I always think of it as their own world. It's their statement. It's kind of their take on things. And that's kind of what I was thinking. So when I did that first one, I just wanted to, be able to write the record and kind of play the way I like to play. It's not on a label. And I just wanted to, it's just me having fun and what kind of documenting, I think I was 40 when I did that one. And I did another one that 2 or 3 years ago called Dirt and Soul. So I have two of them out. My wife says I'm on a crusade to keep it from the world, because I've not been very good about getting the word out about it. But you were asking me if there's anything I was proud about in my musical career. I probably would say that more than anything, because it's just so personal, so close to me, and I'm just really happy with the way they both came out.
Well, I love this, and I'm looking forward to listening to the other one, because this is the kind of music that I like. I really, really dig it, and your guitar is badass on here, by the way. Really, really good. So now that you are, you're a family man, your wife is a singer. How about your kids? Do they have musical talent? Your kids?
Yeah. Man, my daughter, she's an incredible singer and a good young guitar player, and a songwriter who's far better than I was at her age. She's going to be a senior in high school this year, and so she got her mommy's voice, and she's already written a songs, and she's posted on Instagram some. What I love about her is she doesn't want to be a star. she's just, she's very content. She may end up being a worship leader. She could do so many things. She's got a lot of talent. She's kind of at a point right now where she's trying to, sort out what she'd like to do. And I'm really glad that she knows where her giftings are. I mean, we homeschool our kids, so that's one of the reasons we wanted to kind of really watch them and get to know who they were and where their giftings were. So we know that about her, but now it's just a matter of her kind of, saying, all right, I want to start going in this direction. So we're still kind of working through that.
Right. Well, let's kind of conclude and end with that. What advice would you give to kids or even adults that are, playing around with an instrument and thinking that they want to become a rock star, or thinking that they want to be one thing, when sometimes our talents or life kind of leads us on a different road?
Yeah.
What would you say to that? Because this is probably where you thought you were going to end up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a passion of mine, really. I had the opportunity to teach at one of the universities here for about 5 years, and I'd have conversations with some of the college students, and I'd say, where do people affirm you? What do you lose track of time doing? You know what I mean? Just things like that, where other people say you're good at something, and if something that you really love doing, and it makes time pass quickly, like pay attention to what you gravitate towards and where people affirm you. I think that's huge. And a lot of times we don't know ourselves when we're young. I mean, when I was a kid, I knew I loved music, but I didn't really know myself. I thought, because everybody said you're going to be a rock star, I thought that was my only option. But it's like as I've seen my whole life now, it's like, oh my goodness, the journey God's led me on has been so exciting, and it's been amazing. So, uh, you know, what was I going to say? Like some people, get my thoughts together on this last thing. I read a book called Halftime, and he talked about how, like, for a lot of people, the first half of your life is about success, and a lot of times the second half is about significance, and I think, it's important just to pay attention. A lot of times, like, the first half of our life is like a movie that we walked into 20 minutes late and really know what's going on, but it seems interesting enough. And it's like just really paying attention to yourself and where people affirm you and what you love to do, what makes time pass. I think that's huge. And, for me, walking with God has been huge for me. You know what I mean? It's having that peace and following him closely, letting him guide me, really letting him change me and mold me, and dealing with my junk has been just invaluable. I think that's what I would say.
Okay. Like, pretty much enjoy the journey.
Yeah, enjoy the journey, pay attention. Yeah, absolutely. And work hard, these days. I'm not preachy about social media, but it's easy to waste time. I think it's easier than ever to waste time these days. So, I mean, stay focused. Even as us adults, it's easy to waste time
Yes.
with all the gadgets and everything.
Exactly. All right. Tell folks where they can find you again on Instagram and Facebook. And Guitar Academy is in what town? Because it's in Nashville, but it's in what town?
Yeah, I'm in a little town called Nolensville. It's kind of like the pub. Is Nolan's still there? But it's Nolens.
Nolens is still here. Yes.
Yeah. It's spelled there. It's Nolensville, but if you look up NashvilleGuitarAcademy.com, you'll see our website. But for the videos that I'm doing on Instagram, Mike Bauer Guitar, Nashville Guitar Academy on Instagram, Mike Bauer Music on Facebook, and Nashville Guitar Academy on Facebook. And if anyone wants to check out my CDs, they're on iTunes, or you can get them from me, the hard copies. So I appreciate this opportunity, and just getting to hang with you and connect with you is awesome. Thank you, Lilo.
Yes, totally. This was so much fun. I am so glad that we were able to do this. And I hope that everybody enjoyed our little interview with Mike Bauer. Again, my name is Lilo, and I'm so grateful that you tuned in. There's so much more to Mike Bauer than what you heard in this half hour, 40 minutes. Any last minute words that you'd like to throw in there?
It's just great. I mean, just seeing like people up here like Megan Kennedy. What's up, Megan? And Chris and Zach. Cool, just to see everybody tuning in, and this is just great. I'm so glad you're doing this. I look forward to watching some other ones. Some of the other people you told me that were going to be on, and it's just great to see where everybody's come from and where they're at now. And I'm just so glad that you're following your muse and doing things like this. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope to do more. Definitely. There's still a lot of very talented Long Beach people that I need to talk to, but I still am working through my list.
Awesome.
All right. Well, you have a gig to go do with your wife, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thank you.
Me too.
I know we keep freezing up. It's kind of annoying, but I think that once. What's that?
No, yeah. Once it's
say?
all, when you can watch it all.